Hey guys, my name is Madison Long. I started with Cutco back in 2016 and I was recommended to the position by a friend of mine who I went to high school with. And at the time, I was working at Subway and, nannying, I was playing lacrosse, and my schedule was pretty busy and I had a lot of stuff going on, but I was like, I'll just try it out and see where it takes me. That summer in 2016, I sold 10 grand my first summer, hit all 5 pay promotions, and when I first started, I realized that I really wanted to be a team builder. And when I was given the opportunity in the interview and training to recommend people to the position, I really took advantage of that. And that summer, I went on to have 7 recommended people who were qualified for the position, which means I was one person short from hitting the trip. A little bit of a bummer, but I did hit all the other prize levels, and it was just really cool that summer to be able to see what I had built and the team that I had accumulated. And also I worked with my cousin, so it was really fun to compete and just see where we ended up when it came to, sales and competitions and conferences. And it was really cool just to see what I had built. And after that summer, I went on to into a more of a full-time recruiting role. So I started off right where you guys are now as, a PR caller, as we say now, or a social media assistant. And I recruited for about a year until the next summer in 2017 when I moved into more of a management role. So I started running interviews and taking incoming phone calls and also recruiting as well. And in 2017, I did that for that summer, and this past summer in 2018, I did the same thing, but in a little bit more of an advanced role. And my position had changed into more of a, executive position instead of just that entry level position that I had started in. And I actually had the opportunity this past summer to finally hit that 8 PR level and actually get a chance to hit the trip and go to Cancun because of my personal recruiting. And also, it put me on a national level. And this past summer, I finished up at number 2 out of 30,000 students in the company for team building as well, and was able to win a Silver Cup scholarship with that opportunity too. So that was a little bit of my backstory, and just so you know what I'm doing currently, this summer I'm getting the opportunity to be a branch manager. And what that means is for me, I'll be getting the opportunity to do the same thing that your managers are doing now. I'll be running my own organization and business and building my own, company essentially with the money and the startup that the company has given me up in Rome, Georgia. So I'm super excited for that opportunity. And the objective of this video is to teach you guys what it means to be a social media recruiter and to teach you what an hour of social media messaging would look like, and really what the objectives and people we're trying to, add onto our team and build the organization with as well. So I want to show you guys what exactly an hour of social media messaging looks like and what goes into that and the type of things you can use as examples when also sending your messages and running your shifts as well in your office. So the first thing we need to keep in mind is, how do you know who to send messages to? Here we want to have a work hard, play hard mentality too. And we want to recruit people who are, they tend to be busy, people who are athletes, involved in fraternities, sororities, maybe even involved in student government. You don't need to worry about being inclusive about who you want to send messages to or recruit, because that's what our group interview approach is for. Your job is to get people in front of us, and our job is to be selective. So if you know people in that market, the markets I was referring to, such as student, athletes, government, sororities, fraternity, any kind of organizations where they might know a lot of people and be really involved in the community, if you know anybody personally, your friends are going to get first dibs on those openings. So if you're reaching out to somebody, this is the type of message that you would use first. And your manager will give you this as well. So if you don't need to worry about recording this or writing this down, because you will have this for reference also. So this gives you a little backstory on how to make your profile cool and everything that wants to go into that. But what we're going to really get into is the actual messages and what you'll be sending to people when you're social media messaging. So the first initial message that you would send is, "Hey blank, I know you don't know me personally, but I run a small business here in blank. We're about half a mile from blank. Anyway, I work with a lot of students over their summer break. Are you or anybody you know currently looking for work?" And depending on your manager here, they might change "I run a small business here in blank" to "I work for a small business here in blank." So what you would do is you would just copy this message, and then you would go to the platform that you're messaging on. So for example, I'm going to use Facebook here, and obviously you would just start with your initial network. So I'm going to go to my friends, and just for the sake of this video, once it loads here, I'm just going to message Ben, just so you guys get an idea of how to do this. So you just click message, and obviously you would just change everything in the message to reflect the person you're messaging. So I changed the blank to, "Hey Ben, I know you don't know me personally, but I run a small business here in," we'll say, Marietta. We are about half a mile from the Braves Stadium. And again, your manager is going to give you these things to fill in the blank with, so don't worry about making up something different every single time. The key to the approach is having an approach that you can go to, so you don't have to worry about making something up every time you message somebody. And then just get rid of the parentheses around summer. Anyway, I work with a lot of local students over their summer break. Are you or anybody you know currently looking for summer break work? And again, just get rid of those parentheses and just go ahead and send it. So after you send that, that would be what you would do for the first part of your shift. So you'd send out 50 messages to people in your initial network. After you send out those 50 messages, then you would want to respond to anybody who had sent you a response maybe the previous day, or maybe even something that you had missed in an earlier shift that week. And the responses, again, are all scripted out, so you don't have to worry about, making something up or just deciding something off the top of your head. There's a response for every single message. So for instance, I'm interested. What is the job? What is the company or product? What are the hours? Where are you located? Let's say they say, "I'll let my friends know I'm not interested," or there's another message for when the convo is over already. The next thing you want to do, and you can do this before you send your messages or after, is just to put up a post on your social media about openings that we have available. Your manager will have some examples of posts that you can use, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use some I already have on my profile. So what you would do is just click the post button and choose a photo or video of a post that your manager has provided you with. So I will use this one with the URL. And then you could just say something along the lines of, "My office is looking to fill some positions currently. If you or anyone you know is looking for work, feel free to check it out." Super simple, and again, your manager might be different with this in their approach, but again, for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it simple. So all you would do is post that. And the reason we post this either before or after our messages is when you send somebody a message, they're instantly going to be wondering, what are they talking about? What is this position? And if you already have a post up on your page about the position, it gives you a little legitimacy in the fact that you already have something to back up the message that you just randomly sent them. So they can see the post and also just apply in case you don't get around to messaging them back with the link. And after that, you would want to remember, guys, that like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's important to keep in mind that we don't necessarily know who's going to be looking, and it doesn't really matter because the managers are going to be selective anyway. So you mainly just want, as your position, you want to get the word out and then let the manager decide during the interview who we want to accept onto our team. After you send out your messages and then put your post up, you want to make sure that you send out 50 to 100 friend requests every shift. This makes it easy so you never have to worry about running out of people to message or contact about openings we have available, because you'll always have accepted friend requests every new shift that you start. And if you need help, your manager can always give you a few schools to focus on, what we've had a lot of past success from. So let's say, for example, you go to Rome High School and you've already messaged everybody in your initial network. At that point, you would just go to your manager and say, "Who else can I message? Or what are some schools that I can target?" And they would give you some schools in the area of people that you can friend and add people to your network from as well. And again, they would get into the specifics of that. And every time you send out messages, just get into that habit of adding as well, so you always have that stream of people to message. So just remember, guys, that the type of team we're trying to create is a team that's fun and professional. We want to have a fit team culture, and you guys are going to be a big part in creating that. So again, you don't have to be super selective, but when you are messaging, make sure you look at somebody's profile and think to yourself, is this the type of person that would do well here or fit in with our culture? Again, you don't have to be super selective, but just make sure that they look professional and somebody that you wouldn't mind carrying on a conversation with.